Welcome. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches.
What up, bitches? It's a new era. While all these clones focus on 3D bodies and shit they're gonna need a fucking staff for, we went for the easy fruit. You already know. Motherfuckers out there about to fucking strangle midgets trying to figure out how to fucking work Blender and shit. Are you ready for the real Nomics? I don't know if y'all are ready for this. One of many show hosts. You know we gotta keep with the themes, but today's just fucking fun because if you guys haven't noticed, right, I'll show you something pretty funny. Hold on, wait for it. Let me close this noisemaker Discord. This shit drives me fucking crazy when I'm live. I was watching this on Twitter. So, you know, when you see everybody take the same trade, you gotta go the other way. And that, you know, showed up in the form of this, right? So Clonix put this out, or Artifact. Clone casting. By the way, this is Bebby's first render. This shit is fucking sick, the stuff this guy does. And if you notice one thing in here, right, everyone's fighting the models. Everyone's figuring out Blender. You know, Blender's fucking like a fucking complete nightmare. So we focus on Snapchat because that's the most applicable way to get a three-dimensional clone, you know, onto TV right now. If you're gonna do a rap video or anything else, you need a fucking production team, which is fucking like, if you've seen Blender, that shit's like a whole other career path. If you're not like fucking built for that shit, like you're not gonna fucking like learn Blender over fucking night right now. So fuck that. Yeah, we went the other way. And if you look in this, right, it put a clone casting. Look, there's my girl Snow. I really want to see this clone open her mouth and talk and see how that all works out. I'm very, very curious. How some of the crazier mouth clones look once they're talking and stuff, because not a lot of people have put this, but not a lot of people focused on fucking figuring out Snapchat, because Snapchat Lens Studio doesn't work right. So if you notice, no one's got these out there. No one's working on these. Everyone's doing models, right? Look at the entire casting. Cass got he got his working standing model. Like, this is a bitch. I already know he went through hell to even produce that shit. But if you look at it, everyone's trying to figure out how to basically get to a place where like you need like special effects teams to do this stuff, right? So and they couldn't figure out Lens Studio, so it looks like we're the only fucking clone with a show in the world right now. Everyone's doing the same thing. And who puts all headshots up? If you're gonna go a casting call, don't you want to know that your actor has expression? Don't you want to know the range of emotions that we have? I mean, seriously, which one of these looks like a casting call to you guys? These? What up, Gamble? Oh, no, that's not Gamble. That's Ash Child. You guys have the dreadlocks thing. I love it. I should have gotten dreadlocks. I always wanted those. But yeah, I think we're the only clone show on the fucking planet right now because everyone's busy fucking, you know, strangling midgets fighting Blender. Fuck all that. So yeah. How do you guys feel? Is this better than the Muppet? Obviously, last week we couldn't get the fucking the filter working, so we had to go Web 2.5. But now we're ready for full 3.0 status. Oh, shout out to everybody flinging some bits at the show. Emon, Brandon, Mauritus, appreciate you guys. Let's see. So, market's looking kind of precarious right now this morning. Definitely some things we're talking about in where prices are. I'm gonna look at our LTC projection that we posted before. I would say that our show volume's looking light. Are we sub 100 right now? It's 8:30 and we're up, and this is definitely low numbers. Very quiet in Discord. Kind of like that fucking hold your breath moment, it feels like, right? But these are definitely low show numbers, low. The Discord's at the highest amount of people, and people are still not talking. Respect Charles. Appreciate the Singaporean bits on a Monday too, right? So very dead. Markets can move. We know that. So let's check out where some shit is. We are gonna try to get this thing off again, not close to 920. I'm gonna do my very best not to do that. Dude, how cool is the range of expressions on this thing's face? Thing's fucking hilarious. I love it. So, you know, you think about these things. the avatar, the three-dimensional, world stuff. These are like, if you're really looking at the long-term version of what this is, these are you. These are like your representation in that world. So for many people, they have no intention of selling these things. Like, this is gonna be, when it's fully built out and I can have a full 3D suit of me, this is who you're gonna meet in any virtual world I've been walking around. It's a hell of a thing to think about a few years out. People don't really see that yet. People are still like, I want to flip these things. But when you build a brand around this, when fucking rappers fucking rap through these things, they're not gonna sell them. There's gonna be just like Eminem. He did a song with his ape. He's not gonna switch out apes. That's Eminem's ape. Whatever the fuck he lets go of that thing, it's gonna be worth a fortune for whatever he does underneath it. But this isn't something that like people are realizing. Clones are pretty fucking specific. Good Lord, Pars Vital. Who the fuck is that, dude? I appreciate you. Holy shit. I hope you're making a fortune per show. I'm trying to feel bad, but I appreciate you, man. Amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the show like that. These characters, like, if you think about it, like, if you look at this guy, dude, Pars is the man. And is that name? That name is a play on something from a movie, isn't it? I'm thinking that's somebody in Discord that's hiding from me. Let's see. It won't tell me who it is, but I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna show you guys something. So I went on Rarity Sniper to look at my clone, and man, the heartbreak is real. So my clone's ranked like in the 19,000s, but I didn't buy him for that. I bought him specifically for this. He's literally my color with my colors of my company. Like, he's like the perfect clone. If you haven't figured out I love fucking fuchsia and fucking blue yet, you're not paying attention. So, yeah. Hey, you can let Ivy in. She can come hang out with her clone master. But yeah, this is, I bought a very specific clone. Like, this, it doesn't have any bells and whistles. He's just like Web3 me, And when people really see that, like, maybe, the generation behind us is coming in and starts to fucking, like, already identify with avatar-based, characters online, like the whole Fortnite generation, this is already what they were doing, They already were doing what we're just now doing here in our age bracket. So this generation already, this is already okay as a medium. Digital money, like I told you, my son doesn't even like money. He actually asked his birthday money turned into fucking ETH. Like, he didn't even touch it. He's like, here, can you take this and turn it to ETH? He didn't even fucking want his fucking birthday money in his hand. He didn't touch it. Just threw the card in my hand and said, turn to ETH. I'm like, what the fuck? So, like, they're already there. So the whole generation behind us is coming into this marketplace already okay with this as like a world to be represented in, like Ready Player One. So it's pretty fucking, for the forward picture on this thing, I'm telling you, Nike didn't just show up here. Nike's like an Apple. They wouldn't show up here if this was like fringe technology still. You know what I mean? That's too big a bet for a company like Apple or Nike. They're going to do this when they know that they have the ability to get velocity of capital and make it worth taking the risk to show up in, what everyone expects could be possible, another version of Second Life. But this is much, much broader, This isn't Second Life. This is a global thing on top of ETH. Everybody in the world can fucking release products on this, and every business, So Second Life was kind of like a very, like, I think a niche market compared to what you see going on in the NFT metaverse space, this time around. Don't you agree? I think so. So, 3-4 years out, like, I'm not looking to be a different version of this. I like the guy who got the gold teeth, but like, I just can't look at it every day. I look at something that I like, and I like this guy. This guy's like literally my fucking room. Anyways, so let's check out some things. So I was looking at some of my OG charts, and one of the OG charts we were keeping track of for this time of year is this guy. So this dude is the big LTC fractal I posted. So in this guy, to look at it really cleanly, you've got your crash cycle, which is a bull flag. We're always going to keep referencing that. And you look at this guy, and this is kind of how a bull flag would evolve, right? If he migrates this angle and he manages to rotate up higher, he's still within the structure of the macro bull flag. So it's a bull flag within a bull flag. So right now, he's outside this angle, but he could very much grind this angle, end up in here anyway, and still be within the structure of the macros. So this range is still what we're paying attention to as the market's still de-risking, and the Fed hasn't really stopped doing what it's doing, right? There's a little breath of life in the market, but you want to look at these things in cycles down. In case we're going to take another leg down, we may have found the floor in some ETH pricing, but like dollar pricing is the risk, for us all. So we want to keep this, front and center. While the DXY is as strong as it's been, it gets any more strong, it's still something to factor into all of this, whether or not you hold ETH pricing. So, looking at this guy, if you're going to continue to leg down to the lows, you want to pay attention to this thing. If you begin to come out of what will become a bear flag, if you do it, we're looking for a potential mid, like short-term bottom here, which can create like a little bit of a low. We showed you guys this, like you pay attention, these are good ranges, right? From that bull flag, we drew this low up from over here, this guy. These are these ranges tell you to warn you on Friday, like if you watch this is a pretty good level, and it stalled it for sure. So now you're watching to see, does he have the ability to get strength here and keep pushing, or does he go and make this bottom, which is the bear bottom in this range from 2018-19 BTC's lows, which we ported over here a few shows ago. So this is like perfectly exactly what the impulses look like. So that's one of the reasons we kind of gave you this forecast. This damn it, where is it at? Lower res, sorry, my bad. Like this wave down projection and back up again, because that's kind of where it was for like this corrective wave. Then it goes back up, he hits the range up here, and now you have a chance for a counter structure or a flag that can rotate a little higher. There's two versions of what's possible here. He can track all the way back down and grind people into dust. This would give you the time correction aspect where people that were already hurt get financially hurt because there's no way to recover it in the sideways market, and they just burn out and have to liquidate anyway. So the people who might have survived, that this will kill economically when it goes sideways. So people who just have to go back to work or have a medical crisis or fucking like need capital now, the rest of the economy gets bad enough, I need to dump this. The sideways motion taking long enough will choke that kind of person out, even if they made it through the crash. So that's what's possible here. If he doesn't turn a bull now and go now, he likely just grounds people into dust in this range. But this level is like your key rate level now. That's 1268 level. We'll stick this on here. That's where you really give a shit if ETH recovers that. BTC's version of it. So we drew this on BTC last time. And check this out. So BTC, really important level for this guy was a swing level going back above this rotation right here. He landed smack on that. Let me put that. Right, and so this bull flag was a projection for a bull flag. It's like likely bigger. I don't think this is like the greatest looking structure to one, but let's draw this in anyway. Clone that and check the angle of attack. And so actually it's really good. It's perfectly parallel like that. So could it be the depths of the corrective structure of the bull flag right here on top of a good level? It's as good a place as any if you're going to see the stall right now for this like weekend, this Monday correction. What the fuck? Then that's a great place to pay attention to it. And so pay attention to a few things. If that's going to indeed hold and allow rotation here, then a whole bunch of things would stall kind of in a similar spot. So that's the two things you have. You stall right now where BTC's got a good confluence, and that confluence exists on some smaller levels, like on this, or you ground down the trajectory of what of this guy is showing you, and match more the timetables of what LTC is giving us. So watching LTC like this, one thing you generally like to see is like, as prices decline really rapidly, that they kind of like have corrective structures that allow them to, like you look at this angle, swing back towards the angles, which is your bear flag, and then collapse again, and then swing back towards like, maybe this angle. But he has the ability to still do this and then start to kind of migrate around. That is possible. Whoops, fuck that up. Anyways, so pay attention to this ETH trajectory and that BTC level. I think those are the two most key things you have. The next shitty thing that we have on here we haven't looked at in a while is total. So not that total, this total. So shitballs, right? So this was our big swing level if you got underneath it. This is what I was kind of talking about. Like in general, like when your price is too steep, it tends to swing back towards its primary angles. And that's kind of what you hope it will swing back here and make for a more meaningful correction. But underneath this, right, is your real risk, because this can then be a bear flag under here. And that would be a very bad place to have a bear flag. So even though it's as steep down as it looks like, and you say, wow, it's due for some kind of a bounce, things like Zoom, show that you can just keep on fucking falling, especially when you're in a kind of setup like that. That looks kind of like, damn it. That looks kind of like very similar to like that kind of flagging you have here, right? You can very much fucking still keep declining at rapid speeds. So these are the things to keep track of, really. Total flagging out here. The one thing I gotta say is, this is really obvious to any idiot that's like a basic technician. And when they're really, really obvious, they're usually not the best bear flags to play. Like every idiot can see this, but it doesn't mean you take it off your radar. So BTC where he's at, if there's a chance for this white path I just drew on here to happen, it'd be BTC bouncing. That would basically trap somebody who went for this bear flag. So those are your lines in the sand to watch, those three things. That should be pretty easy, right? That makes sense. I wanted to change that guy to that. That makes sense? Yeah, no, maybe so. When you say Pars Vital said it's from Ready Player One. Oh, the character Pars Vital is from Ready Player One. Right. I knew I've heard that fucking name before. I can't remember who it was. But for sure, I'm not in Discord. Why you say for sure? Did I kick you out? That for sure sounds ominous. Well, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support you give to the show. That's pretty fucking awesome. I am also very used to this being you. When you switched on Twitter to the second one, it was weird to see. Is this thing weird to see? Is it weird to talk to a Clonex? Is this what everybody's ready for in the morning, to tell you about where the fucking market might do? I love the eyes. The eyes are so fucking dope. They never had a foul mouth Clonex. All right, let's see. So, does everybody got that? Everybody got that little crypto wrap right there? That's really key, For as far as some of these projects have bounced, especially like Clonex, the ETH price bounce is pretty amazing, but the dollar market's your big risk. I mean, that's what's moving over the place that, can come down another level if the market de-risks any further. And if you guys saw, Celsius is now looking to structure like a bankruptcy after having paid like $200+ million in like 5 days to bring down the risk on their collateral. That's really stunning, right? Because I talked to this in Discord. If you had 200 million, they would have known about it, did not think you were in trouble. So it's likely somebody else paid that and you're still broke, but they just had to make sure you didn't explode in the open market and fucking deleverage somebody else. So likely somebody else has inherited Celsius's risk. So when they go to this bankruptcy breakup now, they're going to do like a structured breakup, like 3AC, which is a control liquidation, instead of having them explode in the open marketplace, which is definitely better for all of us. But it still tells you that that risk went somewhere else. So Celsius is not okay. They're still looking to fucking liquidate. So who paid down their debt so they didn't blow up in the open market is now your big question, right? Because the only reason you'd ever fork over $500 million is because the explosion on your books would be fucking far worse. The only person who makes kind of sense of that is kind of like, I don't know, Sailor. The only person that would need to fucking stop them from exploding to save themselves would be that guy. And literally bought their stop down underneath Sailors. But where he would get that money, since he seems broke, buying like 400 coins on top of 129,000 is another question. But somebody out there is just transferred the risk. It didn't disappear. And so that's something to keep in the back of your mind, that there's still a problem in the market, and the Fed is still targeting those high risk individuals that are in the market. All right, that's enough nerdy stuff out of the clone. Let me see if you guys gave me any war stories. We'll go over there, and then we'll take a look at the S&P and the rest of the shit. One sec.
Welcome.
Oh, looks like I killed a clone. I guess I can't blaze with the clone on air, huh? That's a no-no. Oh well, it's gonna have to happen. Definitely some stress getting this one up. But anyways, not sure exactly blazing directly on there, but I'm a blazing because it's fucking wake and bake time. God damn it. Let's see. All right, so war stories. You guys better have some. I see one, just one. Bunch of slackers. Could the payment have been from user funds? I don't think at that fucking speed that seemingly was targeted at bringing down their fucking risk of being stopped. That was somebody directly paying down Celsius from the edge of destruction. So no, I don't think that's user funds. That was like somebody panic covering them, and then they're still gonna fucking go bankrupt anyway. So that's somebody else. That was a lot of fucking money. I don't think there's too many people in the marketplace that have that. If it wasn't, maybe it was Binance. You know, it could be Binance. It could be Novogratz. Anybody else who sees them exploding as a fucking critical risk to their business that's big enough to warrant giving them $200 million. You know, there's very few names in that pool that would need to stop them from exploding. It'd be CZ, Novogratz, or fucking Sailor. And actually, think about it. The only person that's liquid is probably CZ. So, you know, that's a speculation, though. We don't want to go down that road. That's a useless conversation. At any rate, all we do know is somebody did cover their risk and transferred the risk to themselves. So they have the you know, if it's CZ, he can absorb that risk. If it's anybody else, they might be hanging on by a thread. So that's kind of, you know, I'm kind of glad I thought that out because, yeah, I didn't throw Binance into that, but that's who has the kind of money to fucking cover them. All right, so let's see. Or SBF. Not sure who SBF stands for. All right, war story, week of Tesla. This is Skinny Bees. Week of trading. Shortened week. Have been watching Tesla at these levels. Caught the pop on Tuesday from Kaz's heads up from the depths after being stopped twice on the downside. Wasn't around for the shockwave on Wednesday, but caught the ride on Thursday. So 4 trades with 2 wins of 6 Rs each and 2 losses 1 R each. Had a plan for when Tesla exited the range. As pointed out in the heat map, which I wrote on the chart to remind myself, despite the clear path and clean entry structure, managed to talk myself out of Friday gas pedal move. Had a bias towards a long shockwave on introspection. Structure was quite clean, and having had fair share of stop outs recently put me in a mindset to be cautious. Had some good conversations about trading in a shockwave, and my bias towards further shockwaving swayed me to not take it instead of being mechanical and being willing to take a loss as cost of doing business. There's always a reason and ways not to participate in moves, so sticking to plan and being mechanical should always override emotions and decisions on the fly. Very good points and memos for everybody else. So 2 major legs he played out of it, and he could have played the very last one and just didn't do that. And in exactly the same setups that he caught in the first 2. So, and that's a good note, right? This is why you guys want to journal, because you need to kind of remember you make these mistakes, you'll forget about it pretty quickly over time. Very good. Appreciate it, Skinny Bees. Come on now. You guys put 1 million wins inside Discord. Where they at? Should be a shit ton of scorecards. So I got to say, at 125 at this point, it's still pretty low for the morning show. So, all right. We're going to do our macro and SPY. We'll take a couple symbols from you guys. So going back on what we spoke about, looking at like crypto, we want to build on that. Actually, we just check DXY, right? So this guy is going fucking apeshit. That is crazy. That's like the lesser likely trajectory that he keeps doing this. Like buying to that gets risky and riskier the fucking farther it goes. But that is, you know, stays clear above that structure. You can play that, but it is definitely more dangerous to play it. I think this morning the Japanese yen just hit like a fucking, I forget how many fucking year like low this is. This is going back to like the highest price since like the 90s. So this is epic. And there's Leon fucking destroying fucking Japan. Insane rotation going on. So like the dollar is parabolic as fuck right now. This is the other thing, right? If the dollar has any kind of recoil out of this parabolic run, right? This is the kind of shit nobody wants to fucking buy into, like this part of the wave, right? You're just fucking hauling ass. If you look at this, let's look at this. Right, this thing's fucking huge. It's as good a fucking like spike leg as any before you get some kind of crazy recoil in this thing. So it's excessive, right? To even blow out that channel, that's an excessive leg to have no fucking chill, right? It's about as big as it ever gets. If you look at this like from any counter structure you see here, this is going back to the fucking like, 90s. This is a pretty epic fucking move in the dollar right now with no chill. See it? The old cock and balls method. Like just a straight thrust. That's a parabolic move like that. Even straight down, right? That's about as big as they get. You just look at the amplitude of this, it's fucking bonkers shit. So he's in fucking the nether regions right that I think there's more likely a chance of a DXY shockwave than there is of just him sticking out further. He's probably likely to stall somewhere inside of this guy and take some kind of a chill in there. So I think that's worth paying attention to. If he stalls, that should be a breath of life to crypto, as it would take the fucking some of the gas off of the USD side of things. So paying attention to that, then keep in context what we talked about, like impossible bottoming formations where we are. That's your only really hope, is that the DXY stops going at the speed it's fucking going. So this is USDT, right? And this is, or basically DXY of crypto. That's this then. If that rotates, BTC holds, and you get another bounce. So I guess we have a good level here we marked. It's probably a good spot to pay attention to. And you can pay attention to, obviously, that's not a new low. Right, we talked about this before. So probably keep track of both of these since they're kind of wacky looking. This guy broke through this angle. That's your pullback in crypto. That's now the same flag we just talked about BTC. That's the same one, right? So if that guy rotates back down to the base, or USDT.D rotates from underneath this down to its base, then you're gonna have a bounce in crypto off of it. If it keeps tracking this wave, crypto keeps de-risking. So I think you're in a pretty critical spot to pay attention to BTC sitting on that area I showed you. Not there. It's worth paying attention today, see how he deals with this. So yeah, a couple things in decent spots, right? So the DXY is fucking epic. Euro USD off of that, also fucking epic, right? So we put this in a good place, down, thrusting down in here. A chance for a counter structure in DXY would allow for a flag outside this range. So like I said, it's a stick, and don't call tops on things, right? He can stick maybe fucking another fucking, go right through parity at the speed he's going right now. That's the thing a lot of people are gonna make a bet on. That's really dangerous, because I remember this coming up through parity. I think I could find the exact moves that went through parity when I was in it. So I traded in a room with some people from MG4X back when this was happening. And there was a trader female chick named Corinthia in this room. And she had everyone's respect, so much to the point that she could get people to kind of follow her trades. And I was lesser known. And she was amazing until we reached about 94 to 97 cents on the way up towards parity. This bitch began to short this shit never endingly. Like, it's never going to see 1-to-1. And that bias blew that bitch apart. When it went through parity, it sat underneath it for just a little while, and I was there. It was an Asian session. I traded the Asian session. That shit arced through parity and through like $1.02 and killed everybody shorting near that fucking barrier. If it goes through parity and it's anything like I remember the last time, there's gonna be a bunch of idiots who have a psychological barrier as one being a fucking whole number that will stop it, it will go through there like fucking enough to fucking annihilate those people. So I do remember trading that guy, and I was like one of the few people in that whole room. There was nobody who longed it with me, and I'm like, is anybody in this? You know, clearing like 101.50, and like the whole room is like crickets. One of the reasons I know that fucking like, you know, skeleton crews make moves happen. But yeah, so I remember parity the last time, and if it's anything like last time, like there's nothing to get in the way of what's happening to the European Union. It can wick it at least and knock a ton of people out. So if we see a big climax wick through parity and then it chills, that would probably be the chill in the DXY. So pay attention to that level while we're that close to it. We're only 70 pips in the euro off of it, and believe me, there's a lot of morons who are going to get murdered around that number. All right, so back to, yeah, I think people might have to get killed at parity on this. All right, so that's currency things, DXY things, fixed things. Fixed things. What chart am I on? Not this one. Fixed things. So let's look at this guy. He rotated a little bit from the last time we looked at this. Is that the last time I really drew something on here? That really can't be it. Oh yeah, because he hadn't gone through the floor yet. So he was still with this bull flag was what you're worried about, and he came back and he broke the floor of it. So he is tracking lower. You want to pay attention to what level we have in here. This is the base of the really big bull flag back here that was stop run here, being tested here. So it's tagged it. Well, this is the low, ran it, tagged it. You pay attention for this to get any strength to it, and see if we just fizzle like in this general area. If we come back down again, markets pump. And you know, we're paying attention where BTC is as a proxy on other risk assets too, right? He pumps from there. He's probably not going to do it without the SPY. And so we look at the SPY for where the SPY is, and what do we have here? We have this low coming down in May that kind of had a great interaction as a stop run, a retest area that we were able to call, you know, a rise from, and then gap through it. So it's decent interaction on this area. You see how the gap is this morning, you know, what your structure is going to end up being. So if S&P is not done and he's actually going to at least get up to this area and tag this area, which I thought was a pretty good target zone for it, he would likely be starting some kind of a trajectory like this, and you could kind of clone that and get an idea if he's going to make a shot, a flag. You know, he makes it within the range of that. So if he keeps tracking this, then the market begins de-risking, and this guy's just a bear flag, and we just got like a small, you know, secondary wave on the outside of it. But for right now, I think the sentiment is pretty bearish. You know, a lot of people are thinking that now they see the Armageddon. And so I think you have a better chance at like a bottoming sideways pattern in this area where, like, you know, BTC and ETH are for like at least a shorter term low before you get a total flush in dollars. But people won't be looking for it when it should blow them out. There's a lot of people looking for it right now. So I guess we'll see how today's session trades. We'll get a better idea about it. But I think right now this is like, you know, projected bull flag for this area is not unreasonable. All right, and then so guys like Tesla, if you guys saw that ran already. These guys. So Elon is either the greatest troll in history or the greatest businessman. Are you guys watching this shit he's doing to Twitter? It's like the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. So you guys have to see this fucking post this man posted himself. Like, holy fuck, he's funny. So this is either the greatest leverage in fucking human history or whatever, that he's like taunting. He is taunting Twitter on Twitter to buy Twitter. They said I couldn't buy Twitter. Then they wouldn't disclose bot info. Now they want to force me to buy it in court. Now I have to disclose bot info. This is the crux of the valuation of the company, that you can't get the info to figure out how much of us are real, to figure out what the fair price of fucking Twitter is. This is the greatest chess move in fucking history. You're chasing him down and about to fuck yourself in the ass, because if you wouldn't disclose it, clearly it was bad for you. So everyone's going to know now, so no one will touch you the 10-foot pole unless he gets the price he wants, or what's now fair, because a whole ton of your user base is garbage. If you guys have seen some of the posts I have out there, there are like natural speaking bots now, 15, 16 messages of conversational bots that aren't even posting links. They'll talk to you, like AI bots, you know? So there's a whole bunch of crap, you know, in social media. The fact that you see Snapchat with a premium service now, these guys with Twitter Blue, Facebook trying to fucking reorganize themselves and like market you to whoever the fuck. Social media as it stands from what the Web 2 world is likely in its, you know, its death phase. There is no real more growth for a company like Facebook that's got 3 billion fucking people anyway. So I think, once you have virtual worlds where you can come check out my market show in Web3, I think lots of this stuff moves off of social media that as we know it and starts to exist in, more robust platforms in the Web3 space. Like things like, maybe Decentraland is not going to be the main one, but like worlds like that, or what other side's working on, or virtual worlds that, they're going to come from the artifact ecosystem. Once there's enough of these worlds online functional and like scaled up to where they have like thousands of people possible, I think you see the type of message to one another world die. I said a long time ago, the era of like, people sitting there writing fucking messages for fucking an hour and a half to say something you could say in 5 fucking minutes. It's the most inefficient shit ever. And that's what Web 2 is, inefficient. Everybody wants to have a conversation again. That's where the market's going to go. At the end of the day, Gen X is who's driving this fucking, this whole fucking planet forward, not Gen Z. They're still fucking along for the ride of what we're doing. And we can't stand that shit. So, all this fucking nonsense that Gen Z brought to the world, that's all going to swing back like a pendulum also. People are going to go back to fucking having direct convo because this is efficient. And Web3 is that, a physical representation of who you're talking to, even if it's like an avatar-based version. This just gives something personal to the fucking conversation that's been missing in Web 2 for so long. So, I think you're seeing something in social media trying to fight for people to figure out how to use it and monetize it, while people are, moving in this creative direction of like being their own brands and their own virtual characters, in cyberspace. I think it's a change of the guard is very much there. And, if there's a chance for the metaverse idea to work, this is it. And that's why Nike's there. So anyways, memos and stuff like that. So this stuff with Elon is hilarious. I think he's ultimately just kicked them in the dick, and he may come back and very well buy them now at the price he wants, because it is the platform of platforms and social media as far as putting a message into this world. Like no other place in the world could you guys hope to get a response from like the richest guy on the planet but this place. And no place in the world you get news at a speed that this place does it. So I don't think he doesn't want it. I think he literally just mocked them at the fact he chess moved them into a real fucking silly position while they're doing this. So it should be interesting to watch that fucking show. That being said, that's giving him some gas, because if Elon's on the sideline with us now, he can focus on Tesla, and Twitter is probably going to get fucking kicked in the fucking dick. So like, holy cow. Not that wasn't in his structure, but holy fuck. So he's getting fucking thrown off a bridge. So if there's a guy that can have like fucking real gas on him, this guy is going to just, what he just tweeted is materially damaging, right? There's something there that makes them worth less than what they're fucking saying they're worth. And now you're taunting them with one of the most high-profile accounts in the world on their own platform. You're exacerbating that reality. And any other possible buyer now knows it. Like, Twitter's in a really bad position. And he's doing it to them on Twitter. That's the craziest fucking shit ever. So this is a huge range for them to fuck around in. If there's a guy in the market that's definitely got some fundamental problems and technical problems at the same time, it's this motherfucker. And Meta's in not so much different positions, right? These guys are both pretty weak. He's bouncing a decent range here, but like we said from the cheat sheet you guys got, like he was likely going to get fucking wrecked below 200. He did. But these guys, social media companies as a whole, look fucking terrible, don't they? Look at fucking Snap. Never rotated the bull flag. Just maintained the trajectory all the way into the gutter. They all look the same, just getting fucking obliterated. Hey, I pulled this one up recently. You guys seen this guy? Not that chart of it. I have a better one. Check this thing out. This is where we first called on the show back here. Look where this thing's almost back to. These guys just did a deal with Uber. And Uber's got some fucking crazy investigation into fucking some criminal tactics they use to fucking get where they're going. But like this company has like huge problems. Pretty interesting stuff. So I guess that's macro things. You guys got everything you need there to pay attention to. I don't want to give you too much stuff. Who's got symbols? It's 9:04, so I'm actually ahead of the time frame I thought I'd be. Let's see how many or how few symbols we got today. NAS 100, CLH, ARC. RK. Interesting. NAS 100. Okay, any specific. You just want the Qs. I mean, that's the NAS 100 is the Qs. So that was a bull flag we'd actually drawn on that guy. We rotated out. Do we get any further with it? Like I said, right now you're paying attention to what happens under what is a good level in S&P and this guy. Do you get a flag right here and he just kind of do some bullshit and rotate this? Or, you know, was that it and you get a longer scale like bear flag and he rotates back to this? Even still, even if he's a bear flag, he doesn't look really well structured to go back down. He should have more time to create a higher high in this if it is a bear flag. But for now, right, you'll have to track what he does in this little area, and there's a potential he does do. Let me make this something else. I can't walk and chew bubble gum. 1 sec. Yeah. So I think that's still possible with some of the sentiments in the market. I think that there's still chance for things to squeeze higher, but you remain cautiously optimistic, right? All right, that was at CELH. Does somebody want like the Celsius as in the shitcoin, or did you want fucking an actual stock called Celsius? I'm almost certain that's not what you wanted. Let me know that. We'll do ARK real quick. ARK. So watching ARK down in the depths of hell, right? He'd kind of be following the same thing that's going on with crypto, right? If crypto was creating that bottoming formation, growth assets are all pretty correlated. This guy would be doing something similar. I got it. I was gonna get there. Honest. So we had forecasted this deal that he could wave down. He didn't break out too much, but he did do the wave down. He did this pop and then a wave down again, and then he bounced out of it. So you're holding the same range crypto's holding since dumping down here on May 13th. It's the same effective range that everything's kind of stalling around in. If this tracks sideways long enough and goes back through it, it's a bear flag. You play it on the exit of this thing. You let him get underneath the lowest part of this thing and then, gas pedal down. When you're like really getting wrecked, right, you don't have to rush into stuff like this. You can let them clear and they'll set up systems here where you can play into the next wave of these things. That would be probably like, a real gas. If the market breaks lows again, it's just full fucking like destruction if we see that, especially if it does it sometime soon. So, right now, I think you're kind of watching this guy trade around in a range. I don't think he's your best asset in a good bounce. I think there's definitely better guys that will play that are more interesting to play. But the fact that it's right here at the high of this, and it just barely broke through it, I would watch and see what it does. If you can get back above it, it has a chance to push higher, and the market's likely pushing higher with it. What was that Celsius? Was that really Celsius you wanted? Just disappear. Okay. What is going on in the chat? All right. Well, I'll do the CELH thing real quick. CELH. What is this guy? Beverages, non-alcoholic. I know you don't really mean this, but I'm gonna do this anyway. Fuck it. CELH. Doesn't look bad. That was the trajectory of what he's rotating right there. Steep as shit, but did he go to the low with that? Yeah, I'd say that's what he's rotating still though. Probably would think this guy's a chance of... Oh, god damn it. Alright, my bad. Killing you guys, sorry. So, the drink guy, non-beverage, non-alcoholic, whatever the fuck, rotating this flag above this level right now that he's breaking up on. Right, you're kind of watching this trajectory that he's on. Right now, this... Could rotate to that angle, sustain that trajectory, and come back across it. And then be able to do that. That would probably be better, especially if he fucks everybody here, being this steep, and corrects back through and comes back across. That would probably be like a better setup. Now, I don't know. Nobody responded if that was really the one they wanted, but there you go. So Art K, I just did Naz. ZTS, ETH BTC. ZTS. I feel like I've done this guy before. ZTS. Nope. Isn't this a cybersecurity guy? Oh no, pharmaceutical. Okay, don't remember that guy. Okay, same bounces in both of those. Possible rotation already on a higher floor for this guy, but you know, as far as trends go, still pretty solid. Even that correction is so crazy. All right, this is possibly the rotation on the next highest floor. The only thing is it's very long in the tooth, but it's still structurally, you know, intact if it manages to support this. So, oops. Possibility of like a corrective structure on the outside of this thing and like a rotation to be able to do what he's trying to do. Since this is a pretty steep bounce right now, it's more likely takes somewhat of a breather and doesn't keep just like spiking that, unless the market just pumps right now with it. But I think if you're watching this guy, you're watching him. Something like that. ZTS, ETH BTC, BNB, BTC. Where'd it go? And Monolith ETH. Who keeps asking for the monolith at every show? It's pretty funny. All right, BNB and ETH BTC, BNB. So I know I have a couple of these. Let me just check. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here are all our key levels. So I've got levels and shit all over the place. Fuck my life. It's a good swing level to pay attention to. This was a trigger level that I said was worth noting. So if he's flagging under this, right, you don't want to see him rotate that off. So him being able to go above this would be pretty bullish. Over here, this was a projection we had, right? If he's in a bull flag like I think he is on this big macro, then this is very, very potentially a good spot. Having knocked out stops all into here, if you manage to rotate this up, this would be the rotation from the bottom side of this bull flag and be like perfectly structured with how, like, you know, bull flag and a major counter structure in the middle of it usually appears. So it's a good place, I think, watching it. If this is like, you know, still, if you take this away down here, this is still a major trigger level up, right? And this is still a major first major consolidation after rotating up from the bottom of the bear market. So I think, you know, this is still worth keeping on your radar. this one, and then this one. Right, so that's kind of what I was watching. I thought if he supports on top of this, this is still possible to keep on pushing higher in the ratio. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on here. Like I said, this is the macro structure of ETH BTC, and I think this is what you're really paying attention to when you look at it. Let me think in my head. Not him. That's definitely higher than that one. See, like this guy, Qualcomm's who I use in figuring out Litecoin. And so when you look at like a crash cycle of like the internet bubble, see this mid-range of shit is this. Like you look where he is respectively to like, you know, inside of the cycle, like here. That took him down. You have this like this, you know, this mid-tier consolidation, very much like this though. And so I think that's what you're watching, ETHBTC holding at this wave up where he is now is really that, right? Like coming from the depths of hell down here. So I think the ratio, you know, outside of the dollar price, the ratio of ETHBTC like is definitely something to keep on radar. And then BNB I have on. Well, that's BNB USD. Talked about that range. BNB BTC. Nope. BNB BTC. There he is. So talk about this guy last time. Let's go down to something like here. Where were we? So don't remember last time you guys had me draw this up, but I guess it was fairly recently. So we talked about this. You know, we had a projection for this guy. So this dude now where he is, kind of not the healthiest kind of bull structure. He looks bullish in a rotation of this bull flag. But in general terms, you want to see him kind of like not lean into the direction like that. That's usually the more dangerous, even though we did just see that pop higher on the DXY. That's like the lesser likely scenarios, and more like he usually counters against it and rotates up. But he's in a position here to flag and keep pushing. BNB definitely has looked stronger. So as he maintains this trajectory right now, you're just looking for him to see if he holds a counter here. I could probably make this a better color. I feel like there's too much fucking something going on here. I don't know what I hate on this, but something's just fucking terrible with the color scheme going on. I'll just make this guy white. I just can't see. Something just is blinding me in this. We don't need this anymore. This happened, so we can just get rid of that. That's fucking too much. So we got our wave there. So let's say, yeah, so we'll just do this. I can't take this shit. This has got to go. I can't stand it. You be purple. All right, much better. So yeah, BNB, that's BNB. And then the last one you guys had for me. Oh, monolith. Motherfucker, I got to go get that chart from somewhere. Monolith. So this is not the greatest resolution chart in fucking history, but it'll do the trick. Right. So up today, back at 4.8. So ETH is repricing upwards while ETH dollar is a little weak. So let's see. Do you see some kind of like, you know, bullish action like that? So I think if you look at this and you pull this guy back, what you can see here. And that's basically 5. Yeah, that's 5. So I think, yeah, it's like your psychological level. Just pull this guy all the way back. And this is a good area. If he gets on top of this. God damn it. That looks terrible. That looks also stupid. Choices. Fuck it. I guess white it is. So I think that's what you're watching. Him to get on top of 5. To have a chance to start to trade. You know, you can see it. It's pretty clear. This is the only place he like fails to go anywhere when he gets to the top of 5. But outside of that, if he gets up above this, I think that's possible. Purple. Nope. What are we gonna go with? Not white. Fuck it. Yellow it is. Jeez. Feels so limited with these color schemes. But yeah, there you go. Monolith.eth. Alright, bitches. Whoops, that's definitely not right. Guys, get all that. It is 9:22, exactly as late as I did not want to be. But thank you all for joining me for the first Web3 Clonex hosted market show. This is, you know, should I call it the real Clonex? No, we can't do that shit. But we're going to change the game as soon as we get a couple more things figured out here. You know, we want to get this guy around town. But while everyone fights their fucking way through fucking Blender, fuck all that shit. I did not see the benefit in that fucking war. So this has been Ready Player 2, bitches. I hope you guys are ready for the future. I hope you guys are ready for what's going on in the market. Keep your eyes on the things I told you to watch. Watch the DXY. That guy is fucking retarded, but he is parabolic. Keep track of him in tandem with the USDT or USDC, whichever one of those indexes you're tracking. Pay attention to the VIX right now. You know, if he keeps getting life to him, you have a lot of stuff in decent places, especially that BTC level. If that level gives way and you get a spike in VIX, it's likely going to be across the board de-risk. Right, so like I said, I'm not looking for that exactly right now. I think there's a chance that the market could bounce here. But in the event that it doesn't, you have all your lines in the sand drawn pretty clearly. So I expect you guys to fucking kick some ass. Till next time, bitches. Catch you on the flip. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome